All right, everyone. Welcome to the Crypto Truth. I kind of wanted to go ahead and go over these two articles. I know I said I was going to go over these two articles, and I kind of really wanted to. I'm going to call this a tale of two. I don't. You know what? I'm gonna keep it clean. A tale of people with different opinions on cryptocurrency. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So this guy, Bank of England governor, insists digital payments but not crypto are sticking around. Um, so Andrew Baylor said, as originally formulated, are not the ideal form of digital currency. Now, what makes him say that? Well, he goes down here. He goes on to say, I don't think we're there yet, said Bailey, adding, honestly, I don't think cryptocurrencies originally formulated are it. Bailey said the problem rests with the value and volatility. People want their payments conducted over a stable medium, which the original cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, certainly lacks. So obviously, what we're starting to see is um, I think he really doesn't understand that Bitcoin is only one cryptocurrency compared to all cryptocurrency. And there are many different crypto projects, and many of them deal with the issue of volatility a little bit better. But there's always the market is going to be volatile. The crypto market is going to be volatile until we have that one single asset, that one single cryptocurrency that's going to make it. The thing is that not just one single cryptocurrency is going to make it. That's what we do know. But also, we have to look at, he was saying about, validity. Let's see here. When the economy crashes, how volatile is fiat currency? It's not very. It's very volatile. But obviously, with cryptocurrency, because it is so new, because people are still trying to figure out exactly how to use it and what it does and what its use cases are going to be, yeah, it's going to be volatile. And then if you compare anything to Bitcoin, Bitcoin is not going to be, he says people want their payments conducted over a stable medium. I'm sorry, but Bitcoin is not going to be it as in that. And the reason is because Bitcoin, it's probably going to be a reserve currency. It's going to get bigger. It's going to be the world reserve currency. I believe that's what it's going to get to. And so when we look at things from that angle, yes, no, I definitely agree that people don't want their payments, all over the place, and they want it over a stable medium. Now, here's the thing, though. It has to be backed by something. For many of you guys who don't know, the U.S. dollar used to be backed by gold, which made it stronger. Then once we threw that away, it kind of got weaker. We just started printing money, everything else in between. So we see that a currency has to be backed by something. That's fiat currency. So even the digital currencies, they have to be backed by something. They just can't be backed. The thing about digital currencies or digital payments is or assets is the fact that you can have digital assets and they can be was backed by many different things, and that gives it an advantage. But as far as cryptocurrencies are concerned, I do believe that there are a lot of cryptocurrency projects out there that can make it. If you look at market, that's why I kind of look at market cap and circulating supply and all of that good stuff. I want to know exactly what the maximum supply is, and when you have that, it's kind of crazy because um, there's no what's the word? There's no stable. It's not stable. And so one of the things is why I'm invested and why I like Holochain. And please do deep research on this. I try to understand it, but basically, in a nutshell, with Holo Fuel, it's going to expand. I did it again. I'm sorry, you guys. It's going to expand and contract. expand and contract, and then and that's going to be according to supply and demand. And when supply and demand is working hand to hand and it stays stable, then that's a good thing. So anyway, yeah. So, and then he says, enter fiat innovation. Bailey suggests that fiat systems could be more efficient through digital means. We're right still to debate stablecoin. We're right to debate central bank digital currency. Those issues, I think, are very much up for grabs, for sure. I don't really understand why. And this is only, a couple of statements that he had, but I really don't understand why. I'm not getting the whole digital. I get digital CBDCs for efficiency, but it's not inoperable. And a lot of them are going to have to find a way to become inoperable. If you look at the digital yuan, they're trying to find out ways to make it inoperable. But not only that, but again, with China having their blockchain network, they're going to pair it with the digital yuan, and then it's going to be all she wrote from there. And what they're trying to do is obviously have a currency that's on a system that's all used through their government, through their servers. It is what it is. But this is what I mean by, I personally believe that it's a great idea to make a blockchain internet. But America is not doing that. And I'm not going to go back to that whole video. I made a video about Holochain has competition. And it's more about how they're already figuring out ways to try to get around or have something better than Holochain. Now, at the moment, that it's not the case, but I did look at an article from Tim Berners-Lee, I believe his name is, the guy that was knighted for the internet, starting up the internet. So I do want to say that with him, he's wanting to get into the not the cryptocurrency space, but he wants to make a new internet, but more private, where people own their own stuff, which we all know what Holochain is about. So anyway, I just want to go over that article. Then the next thing is, let's see here. This Harvard professor, he says he believes that governments will not allow Bitcoin to flourish at a large scale. The regulation will come in. The government will win, he said. The professor also discussed the likelihood of a Bitcoin bubble. Now, I want you guys to hear what he said. He said the government will win. Remember when I had, there's a interview that I reviewed with Ron Paul, and he said, they're going to fight back. They don't want to give up their power. And he's really basically saying the same thing. Now, this is a chief economist at the International Monetary Fund. Now, as far as I don't even know why some people even claim they're from Harvard these days. I don't get it, because I don't know, the intelligence is lacking, and the way our world is and our economy is, I don't care how intelligent you are. I think being more efficient and doing things the right way is more important. But that's neither here nor there. I'm no genius, so I can't really talk. Okay, Harvard professor warns of strict crypto regulations. So here's what he says. It says, it's speculative, he began. I've been a Bitcoin skeptic, and certainly the price has gone up. However, Rogoff argued, there's sort of an ultimate question of what's the use. Is it just valuable because people think it's valuable? That is a bubble that will blow up. Now, question for you. Not really a question, but here's the thing. When you have to ask this, there's sort of an ultimate question of what's the use. That tells me right there, he has not done any research whatsoever. Like if you have to ask what is the point of Bitcoin, that means that you're brand new to the space. You don't understand blockchain technology, and mind you guys, remember, I'm not the most intelligent guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't go around like claiming that I'm some kind of crypto, and smart guy that's into all this technology and stuff. I'm not, but I do understand the use case of Bitcoin. Now, it did take a lot of TED Talks and a lot of different websites and everything else for me to get across it, but it really didn't take me long. Matter of fact, it took me, the first time I heard about Bitcoin ever, it took me like, I don't know, 10 minutes to be like, oh, wait, this is awesome. So it took me 10 minutes. I don't understand how people today are still not understanding what Bitcoin is and how it can be used. So, and then if they're not understanding this, there's no way they're going to be able to understand the next level of like header or hash graph. And then they're going to next level of DAG, and then the next level of hollow chain. Like these are things that it's like, you're not going to be able to understand it. So I think that governments are going to be caught completely off guard when it comes to different cryptocurrencies, their projects, and they're not going to know how to deal with it because there's going to be too much anonymous stuff going on for which people are going to be like, look, they're not going to be giving up their information. And then it continued. I can see Bitcoin being used in failed states. It's conceivable it could have some use in a dystopian future. Question for you. In failed states. Now, I know he's talking about countries. I hope he's not saying that the United States of America is not a failed state, because I will tell anybody that we're not doing anything but printing out a bunch of money, and that is never a good thing. So I don't, if the United States is a failed state, what are other countries? And how are they using their, a lot of the smart countries are going towards crypto. They're going there fast. And I think that's a very intelligent move. But hey, it is what it is. Nonetheless, he emphasized, I think the governments are not going to allow pseudonymous transactions on a big scale. They're just not going to allow it. Okay, I like this statement here. And the reason why I like this statement here is because of the fact that they're not going to have a choice. Okay, and I'm going to explain that in a second. So it says here, the regulation will come in, the government will win. It doesn't matter what the technology is. Really? It doesn't matter what the technology is, the regulation will come in? Okay, say that about the internet. When the internet came out, they tried to control that. They couldn't do it. You can't control the internet. You can't just turn off the internet. And they can try, but it won't work. The internet is there. The World Wide Web is there. There's nothing they can do about it. And so, it says the government will win. It doesn't matter what the technology is. Will win what? What do you mean by win? And this is what I'm talking about. Basically, he's saying the government will win. What he's talking about is taxes. He's talking about being able to have something in which you're not going to be able to profit as much from cryptocurrency, because the regulations will come in and all of the money laundering and everything else. Oh yeah, because everybody over here in the United States of America are criminals. Come on, man. Not even just in the United States of America, but just all over. Like everybody's just criminals. No. People just want an efficient way to move to do things for banking. They want to be able to own their own money. They want to be able to do everything that they want to do with their own money. So when he's saying regulation will come in and the government will win, I'm sorry, but the government's going to lose. At the end of the day, the government is going to lose. When they find out the technology that is coming out, people, I'm not just talking about holochain. I'm talking about overall. The technology that's coming out, technology is moving way too fast for these regulators. I mean, we got over here, I'm not trying to be political or anything like that, but we're still trying to, and impeach a guy for something president that's not even president anymore. While I do think they can do whatever they want, I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. But what I'm saying is that we have bigger things that should take precedence over what's been going on that front. So. And he says, so I think over the long run, if there's not a use, the bubble will burst. If it's not a use, the bubble will burst. That's what all cryptocurrencies. And so that's why I tell you people, like, hey, when you're looking at cryptocurrency projects, make sure that you understand that it has a use case. Because if it doesn't have a use case, then it is basically an S coin. Okay, that is what it is. And he says, I hope there's not such a, I hope, he says, I hope there's not such a valuable use, but I suppose it's a hedge against dystopia. Now, a lot of people have been saying that Bitcoin is a hedge against dystopia and everything else in between. I get that. I understand that. But it's a hedge for a lot of different things. Roger Rogoff was then asked, will you advise Secretary Yellen at Treasury that the U.S. should be proactive in instituting that regulation, which could collapse the price of cryptocurrency? He replied, yes, that's just true across the board. It needs to be regulated. I think governments are on it. It's not being used that widely, and I suspect, although the Bitcoin lobbyists have been successful in getting it in some places, that won't last. Wow, we've all heard this story before, right? I mean, people who've been following cryptocurrency for a long time have heard this story over and over and over again. And then he says the Bitcoin lobbyist has been successful in some places, but that won't last. Let me tell you something. Are you talking to JP Morgan? Are you talking to Grayscale? Are you talking to PayPal? You're talking to all of these guys, and they're saying that it's not going to be successful. I think you need to get your brain checked. Rogoff has long been a Bitcoin skeptic. Of course, he's been a Bitcoin skeptic. In 2018, he told CNBC that the cryptocurrency was likely to be worth $100 than 100K a decade from then. Basically, if you take away the possibility of money laundering and tax evasion, its actual uses as a transaction vehicle are very small, the former IMF chief economist said. Well, yeah, that's true, but as far as going from $100 rather. Wow, I can't talk today. Forgive me, you guys, for being worth $100 than 100K. Let me tell you something, people. If Bitcoin is worth $100, I swear I'm going to sell my car and buy as much Bitcoin as I possibly can. Although I do know that that's not going to happen. Like, it's just not going to happen. But basically, he's saying basically if you take away the possibility of money laundering and tax evasion, its actual uses as a transaction vehicle are very small. So basically what he's saying is it's only good for money laundering and tax evasion. That's pretty much what he's saying. And so, yeah, I really don't understand why he would even say that in the first place. It says last week, Joe Biden's pick for U.S. Secretary Janet Yellen stated that cryptocurrencies are mainly used for illicit financing. She later softened her stance slightly and promised to work with the Federal Reserve Board on the regulators to implement an effective crypto regulation. A week prior, the president of the European Bank, Christine Lagarde, called on countries to regulate Bitcoin, claiming that the crypto has conducted some funny business and some totally reprehensible money laundering activity. Despite regulators' belief on the industry report, found that in 2020, crime accounted for only 0.34% of all crypto transactions. Really? Really? Meanwhile, several U.S. lawmakers have said that governments should not try to stop Bitcoin. Representative Patrick McHenry said, due to the nature of technology of Bitcoin, governments cannot kill it, nor should they. Notice he said, due to the nature of technology of Bitcoin. This is a guy that's starting to understand and starting to get that, hey, you know what? technology is moving fast. We can't stop Bitcoin. It's basically too late now anyway. And then governments cannot kill it, nor should they. So basically, he's just saying, hey, he's pretty much saying the same thing what Ron Paul was saying. Hey, it's here now. Like, we'll just let it go. We'll just let it ride. So, furthermore, the U.S. Now has a Bitcoin-friendly lawmaker. Senator Cynthia Lummis has vowed to ensure Congress understands that Bitcoin is a great store of value. She is a hodler who believes that Bitcoin has shown great promise and may rise as a valuable alternative store of value to the U.S. dollar, both on the institutional level and on a personal level. So, basically, what we have here, especially in the United States, is we have a war going on. We have a war of finances and how those finances are going to be implemented. Do I believe that there are criminals out there using cryptocurrency? Yes, I do. Do I believe that a lot of illicit activities are going on? Yes, I do. But just like with any technology or anything out there, it can be used. Anything can be used for bad. Now, in order to regulate that, you need to have a better, what's the word? In order to regulate it, you have to have more efficient means of regulation, and these regulators don't really understand what's going on. I think that's the biggest picture that I've gotten so far, is that these regulators have no idea what is going on. It's beyond their comprehension. And I would advise them to, hey, you know what? Google, YouTube, whatever you need to do to understand the technology better, to get more information on exactly what's going on, so that you can then have proper regulations. Singapore has gotten it. Singapore is already on the ball. I'm not really understanding why it's so hard for the United States to wrap their brain around it. It's really not that hard. But we can take this into a whole lot of different levels. I'm going to go ahead and just close this out. I basically appreciate, thank you guys for reviewing these articles. I know that my reading has been a little bit tough, and I apologize for that. I don't know what's going on. And then also, thank you guys for hanging around if you've even made it this far. So I really appreciate it. You guys take it easy. Have a wonderful day. And most importantly, stay safe out there, you guys. Bye.